Hi everyone and welcome in the part 2 of this mini-series focused on how to create a 2D RPG with Godot 4. In this video we're going to take a look at how we can call our animation through code, how we can create a sword, and how we can create a state machine. This video is part of the update that I've just released on my Godot Udemy course that is about how to create 2 games using Godot 4, and so I will leave the link in the description. I've put a discount for you that is valid until Friday, and if you buy the course, but you help me making more video and you help me as well to make my games Lone Knight that is also available for wishlist on Steam. Just know that for the animation part, the method I'm using in this video, which is hard coding the animation, is not the one that I'm going to use for the rest of the series. The next video will be about the method that I'm going to use, which is like the animation tree, but I think nonetheless for teaching purposes that hard coding the method is a very good thing to do, because at least you can understand the logic on how you can call the animation in the right direction directly through code without to have to deal with like animation tree or those kind of things. Okay, so now that we have said all of this, let's start coding. So what I'm going to show you in this video is another way to deal with the animation. So I'm going to go back to my script and I'm just going to put everything in full screen. And so now what I want here is like the main problem that I have is that in my player animation, I have my player animation that go in 4 directions. It goes to the left, to the right, up and down. And if I want to display it nicely, I need to have a way to get the direction of my player, in which direction he is. And so for that, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to use some function that we have in Godot. So I'm going to here come and I'm going to create a new function. I'm going to call it update underscore walk move animation, update underscore move anim. And here what I'm going to do is like I'm going to get the direction. So how do I do that? Well, it's quite simple. It's a bit like Cody, but it's quite simple. We have created a variable here. It's called input movement. That's what we have done in the last video. And here basically we're going to get that input movement, and we're going to add a new variable that we're going to call var direction, and that var direction we're going to be setting it to a vector 2.0 as well. So I'm going to come here, vector 2.0 as well. And so now here what I can say is like I can check which key I'm pressing, and then according to the key I'm pressing, I can set the direction variable to be in a specific direction. So I'm going to do that now, so it's going to be a bit clearer. So here I can say if input underscore movement is not equal to a vector 2.0, then I can say if input dot is underscore action press. So here is going to be is action pressed like this, and here I need to say UI right. Then here I can set my direction. I can say direction is equal to vector 2, and here I can say 1.0, 1 and quote 0, because we are going to the right. So when you are going to the right in programming, you are always going in positive, and when you go to the left, you're going negative. When you go up, you're going negative, and when you go down, you're going positive. So now I can say that, and here I can get a reference to my anim. So if I get out of the full screen, if I go back to my player scene, you can see that here I have that node that deal with my animation, and I renamed it anim. So here what I can do is like I can get that node by tapping $, and I can say anim.play, and here between quote I can say walk right, because I'm going into the right direction. Then I can do the exact same thing but for the left. So I can say is action pressed here, and I can say UI underscore left. Then I can say direction is equal to vector 2, and between parentheses I can say -1 because we go to the left, and on the y-axis we tap 0 because we are not moving on the right on the y-axis. And then here I can say $anim.play is walk left, and then I can do that again for the same for the other animation. So I can copy that and I can come here, Control V to pass, and here I can put UI up. So then here in direction, we need to change that. So the first direction, the x-axis is 0, and then the y-axis is -1 because we are going up. And then here for down, I can say UI down, and then on the x-axis, I can put 0, and then here I can put 1. So now I just need to here change the right for up, because that's how I've named my animation. And here the left, I can say down. And so now I have my animation that's going to be displayed almost accordingly. We need to have one thing though. We need to do the exact same thing for when we are not moving. So when we are not moving, that's why I've put the direction here. Because when we are not moving, we are not pressing any key. And so Godot here can understand which animation to display because we are pressing on a key, but what when we are not pressing a key. So here, basically what we need to do is we need to say, so here I'm going to first make a comment. So for that, I'm just putting a hashtag and I'm going to say for the walk animation. And then here, I'm going to just go down and I'm going to do the same thing, but this time it's going to be for the idle animation. And so here what I want to do is I want to say that if input underscore movement is double equal to vector2.0, then I want to get the direction and display the right animation according to the direction. So here I need to say if direction is, so direction.x is greater than 0, so if we are moving to the right, if we are not moving to the right, but we were moving to the right, we want to have our idle animation that displays the right animation. Because if we are going to the right side of the screen, for example, and then when we stop, our animation is, for example, idle but facing down, that's not what we want. It's not realistic. So here we can say $anim.play, and then here we can do something like idle right here. Then if direction.x this time is smaller than 0, then here we want our animation to display our idle left. Then if we are going to the y-axis, so if direction.y is greater than 0, then it means that we were going down. So here we need to put a $anim.play, and then it's going to be idle down. And finally, if direction is smaller than 0, so if we are going up because we are going in negative, then here we can say anim.play, and then we can put idle up. And with that done, what I can do now is I can just put that update move anim into my my physics process delta, and it should work. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to put update move anim. And so let's have a look. Let's play the main scene. It doesn't work. Why is that? It's because I've made a typo. Direction Y. I haven't put the Y. So now it's going to work. Voila. And so now you can see that my player is moving on all the right animation accordingly. So that's perfect. But we have one problem. I'm going to re-show you. I'm launching the game and my player here doesn't move and it goes to the right automatically. That's not what I want. What I want here is I want, when I'm starting the game, I want to be, for example, facing down. So here what I can do is like, I can go to my ready function, and in my ready function, I can put that my direction is equal to vector2, and between quote, I'm going to put 0 and 1, which will put by default when we are starting the game, the direction to be facing down. So now I can launch, and you can see that my animation is displayed accordingly. I'm gonna close it and launch it back again. You can see that it displays, and then if I move, you can see that my player is moving everywhere. That's where I want. So that's good. So now we need to do the same, but for the swirl animation. And for the swirl animation, I don't want automatically to have it in my update move anim, because after that, we're gonna create a finite state machine. And so I'm gonna be in need to have my update move anim that's gonna be a call into the state machine. It's gonna be in a third video. So here I want to get out of that update anim function, and here I want to go func update underscore swirl underscore anim. And here basically we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna update our sword. So what I'm gonna do here is like, I'm gonna say, if I can copy that actually, instead of like writing everything, I can just copy the code that we have here into the idle animation. I can come here and I can just erase that, copy. And then here what I want to do is just, I want to change the animation, the first word of each animation. So it's going to be swirled left here. So then when we are going down, it's going to be swirled down. And then if we are pressing the up arrow key, it's going to be swirled up. Okay, so now that we have that, that's good. There's one thing that we are missing for the animation of the sword is that we don't have an input map. So here I can go to my project setting, and I can create an input map right here. But that's what we're gonna do in the next video, because the sword animation, we're gonna need to do a lot of things. So we're gonna see that in the next video. The first thing we need to do is we need to understand how our sword is working. Our sword is working because we have a collision shape that is right here, this one. And that collision shape, we need to move it accordingly to our animation. If we are like slashing something down, we want to have our sword area that is going down, same for left, up, right, okay? So what we need to do here is like, we can use the anim and we can key our sword area. So for example, here I'm gonna go to sword right, and I'm gonna see that, as you can see here, my sword collision shape is perfectly aligned, but I want it to be only here and here on this frame. Not on this frame because the sword is here, and not on this one because the sword is here. So what I need to do is I need to go to my collision shape right here, and I'm gonna re-show you. You go on anim, sword right, collision shape, and then here, what I want to do is I want to transform first. I want to key first if the collision shape is disabled or not. The collision shape is going to be disabled by default. I'm going to come here. I'm going to click on create. And then here, I want to activate it. Key it. Here, I'm going to key it. And then here, I'm going to re-deactivate it. And what I want to do now is I'm going to also key the position. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to key that position. But the position, I'm not gonna key the position of the collision shape, I'm gonna key the position of the parent, the sword parent. So I click on sword, and I go to transform, and here I want to key that position right here. And this one, I want it to be always there. So now, if I launch, I play the animation, you can see that it works. So now we need to do the same for the sword down. So we need to come here, and the sword down, first what we need to do is we need to go to our collision shape, and we need to key the fact that it is disabled by default here. Then here, I want to enable it. And then here, I want to be deactivating it by default. And now I want to go to the sword, and I want to move that. So I'm gonna go to my first frame right here, and then I'm gonna click on my sword area. I'm gonna click here on the move mode, and I'm gonna move that around here. I can put it a little bit bigger like this, or you can resize it as well. This is up to you. Me, I'm gonna put it something like, I think something like this. And I think I'm gonna also like resize it a little bit. It's gonna be better. So let's come here. No, that's not what I was looking to do. Something like this. And I'm gonna just remove that. I'm gonna remove my collision shape inside my sword, because you can see that my sword transform is here, but my collision shape is here. So I want my collision shape to be on the same transform than my sword. And then now here on sword, I can key the position right here. So I go to sword, transform right here, position, I key that, and I key that here. I'm just gonna go back to my sword right, and let's see if it's still working fine. Yeah, it's worked fine, so that's cool. So now I go to sword left, and basically I'm going to do the same, but this time what I'm going to show you is like, I'm not going to do the same for all the track. You can go to, for example, sword down, and here we have our collision shape that we have already created. At first it is disabled, then it is enabled, and then it's disabled again. We can copy that instead of copying it every time. So what we do is like, we just go in the animation we want to copy a track to, we go to edit, copy track, and then we select the one that we want. And here I want just the collision shape disabled. I'm not keyframing, I'm not copying the sword position, because the position we are gonna change because we are going to the left. But here I'm just gonna do that, copy, and then I go back to my sword left. I go here to edit, and I pass the track. And so now I have my track that is, voila, just copy the same way. And so now I can just key the position of my collision shape. So I can come here and I can put it something like here. I think it looks about right. Now I can put it a little bit bigger, a little bit like further, like this. Voila. Let's see. Yeah, it works better. So now I can key that, key it, and then here I can come and key it. And so now it's good. So let's have a look. Voila, okay. And so now we need to just do that for sword up. So sword up, I'm just gonna come to my animation here. Because I've already copied the track, I can pass track here for my collision shape. So my collision shape is disabled by default, and then it is activated. And then what I need to do is just to come to the second frame. I'm gonna move my sword with the move mode here, and I'm gonna key the sword collision shape to be around here. So I'm gonna come there and I'm just gonna key that. Voila, like this. And so with that done, now we have our animation that are displaying nicely. So if I go, I'm checking everything, you can see everything is all right. So now there's one thing that we need to do is we need to be able to deactivate our sword per default in all the animation. We don't want the sword collision shape to be activated by default, because if we do that, then we will be able to slash everything. So that's not what we want. So what you can do is either you can pass through the animation player like we just did with the collision shape of our player of our sword, or you can also go through code. So I'm gonna show you how to do that through code. So here we're gonna go to our player script. And basically, our collision shape is here. So we have sword and collision shape. So what we need to do here is, like, if we go to our collision shape, we have disabled by default here. And if we are like coming here over it, we can see property disabled. Disabled with the other underline is the code name of that property in the inspector. And so here what we can do is, like, we can say $, and then we can go for sword. And then you can see that Godot is proposing us collision shape 2D. So we can just tap enter. And then here I can say disabled, and I can set it to be equal to true. And then here I can come there and I can say, for example, here I can put it to true as well. And that's one way to do things. So now let's have a look. I'm going to just go to my debug. I'm going to go to visible collision shape. If I launch my game, you can see that my collision shape of my sword is deactivated per default. If I click on a button, I don't have a button yet for my sword animation, so I need to fix that actually. I forgot that, so I need to go here to project, then input map. You arrive here on general, but you can go here to the input map. Here what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to add a new action. So for that I'm going to keep the nomenclature of, like, the name of input in Godot. So I'm going to type UI_sword. I'm going to click on add. And here I'm going to click on the plus button right here. And me personally, I like to use my shift key for the sword. So I'm just going to tap on shift. You can see it. We can see shift that has been created. So I can click on OK. And so now I can add a function for that in my sword, in my move function. So here I can say, I can come here just after. If input movement is equal to vector to the 0, I can come here and I can say if input with a capital I is action just press, and then here I can look for my UI_sword, that will be here now. I can display animation. And because we have created our update sword anim, I can just come here and I can say update sword anim right here. So now let's have a look. I can come here and you can see that if I press on my sword, you can see that the animation stutters a little bit here, but it doesn't play right. And this is normal. It's because our move state is overriding our sword per default. And so what we need to do here is we need to create a state machine. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. So here what I'm going to do is like I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to create first a variable that I'm going to call current underscore state. Then I'm going to go just under and I'm going to look for another variable. It is called enum. Enum here is short for enumerator, and I'm going to call this one player underscore state. And I'm going to open curly bracket, and here I'm going to tap two state. I'm going to tap move in capital and swirl in capital as well. Now that we have that, what we can do is we can set some rules, because basically we are creating, when you are creating a final state machine, you are applying a letter, a number to a state. So here our first state move is 0 and then swirl is 1. And so when we are setting into our code that the state is 1, that it will be swirl, and if it's 0, it is moved. It can't be 0 and 1 at the same time. And so for doing that, what we need to do here is we need to go to a function that is refresh regularly, which is for us our physics process delta. And here I can use something that is called a match statement. A match statement is basically what is a switch statement in other language. You just say match, and then here what you need to do is you need to make a reference to your state. And so we have created a variable that is called current state. And so here I can say match current underscore state. And then here what I can do is like I can say that player state dot move, the one that is like in capital letter, the first one, then we can set it to be equal to our move function, this one right here. And then we need here to do something else. We can say player underscore state dot sword, and the problem is that we don't have a function yet, but we're going to create it. I'm going to just say sword. So now I'm going to just come I think come under move here, and I'm going to create that function sword, and then I'm just going to pass for now. So now that we have that, basically what we can do is we can rethink our code basically. And so for now, when we are pressing here into our action just press and we are arriving to our sword, we are calling that update sword anim that is handling all the direction of our sword. But for now it doesn't work because it is overridden by our update move anim. That's where we can make the change. So here what I can say is I can copy that line, or I can just click on Alt and down like this, and then I can just reindent it by tapping Shift and Tab. And then here I can call that function there. But then here we need to do something. And here what we need to do is we need to change our state, because now we have that state machine that has been created, that is right here. Oh, that is right here, sorry. Right there. And we are calling it right here. So what we can do is like here, our current state, when we are pressing on the sword key, we can say that our current underscore state is equal to player underscore state dot sword. And then basically when we will press our key, it will go back to the match statement that we have here, and in the match statement that we have here, the player state is sword, and when the player state is sword, it goes to the sword animation that is right here on the top. Voila. And when we are there, it displays the animation. But the thing is, we also need to go back to our state move. And first what I need to do is like here, on the var current state, I need to be equal, I need to set it equal to player underscore state dot move per default, because we're gonna use the move function that is handling our movement or lack of movement when we are idling right here. We're gonna use that as a pivot point for all of our other abilities. And so here, what I'm gonna do is like I need to have something else. I need to create another function. But first I want to show you if it's working or not. I just need to go to my physics process and I need to comment those out. So I need to select them and then tap Control key. So now we're gonna only have our current our state machine that's gonna be displayed. So let's play and let's see if it works. You can see that right now it doesn't work. Why is that? And when we are moving, we need to tap Update Move anim, because that's what we are doing. So now we can come that and we can just go to input vector 2.0. We can copy that line as well, and then we can check what's going on. So now if I launch play, you can see that my animation display by default. I can move, I can go like where I want, and if I press my key sword, You can see I slash, but now you can see that I'm slashing all the times and I can't move anymore. And this is normal, is because my state isn't reinitialized. And so for that, what I need to do is like I need to reset my sword to be to the current player state dot move. So for that, what I'm doing is like I say func sword dot finished. It's a new function that I'm creating, and here I need to say current underscore state is equal to player state dot move. And now that's the last part of this of this video that is quite long. I can go to my anim, for example, and in my anim I can call that track. First I need to save, and then here I can go to, for example, I'm in swear down, I can go to add track, call method track. I can call one of the nodes on which I have a script. So here for me it's my player script. I can click on OK, and then it creates a new track, and then at the end of it I can right click, insert key, and then I can just like tap void swear finish, and it will reset at the end of that animation. It will reset my actual state to be a move. So now I can just do what I have done before, go to edit, copy track, and I can copy that method track, copy here, and I can go to my swear left, I can go to edit, pass track, and then you can see that my track has been passed, and then I can go to swear right, edit, pass track, and then finally swear up, edit, pass track. And so now if I launch my game, I can slash, and you can see that now my animation go back to 0. So that's great. That's great. So now we can slash stuff, and so we can finally be able to like have a mechanic that is quite nice for games. So that's great. So now in the next video we're gonna create a time map, and we're gonna also create an object that we can destroy with our sword. So we're gonna see that in the next video. So now what I'm gonna do in this video is just I'm gonna create a little object that I can slash with my sword, just so we can have something to do. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna click on main, I'm gonna click on plus, and I'm gonna look for a new node that is static body 2D. The static body 2D gonna have a sprite right here, and I click back on static body 2D, I click on the plus, and I look for a collision shape 2D. That collision shape 2D selected, I need to go here to the right, shape empty. I click here and I need to go to new rectangle shape. And so now what I want to do is I just want to come here to my sprite, and I want to go to look for my sprite. So it's going to be interactable for me, and I have something that's called create, that's right here, and I just drag it empty. And so now I have normally my, my box is right here. I'm going to move my player. I click on my player and I'm going to move it right here, for example. Something like that. I just need to resize the thing nicely like this, and I'm gonna put my my static body first. What I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna rename it. I'm gonna call it create, and I'm gonna add a script to it. So it's gonna be in my script folder. So I click on the icon folder, I go back and I put it into my script, open, and create. And so now here, what I want to do is like basically I want just to have like something that is able to detect the swirl. So for that, what I need to do is like I need to just go back to my 2D scene viewport. I click on my create, and I add an area 2D, and that area 2D gonna have a collision shape 2D. So now the collision shape gonna be again a rectangle, and so now we can start to work our create. So first thing is I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna change the color of that collision shape, so like this I know exactly what it is. And here what I want to do is like that collision shape, I'm gonna leave it like this, but I need to reshape it. So I'm gonna click on my collision shape here, click on the select mode here, and then I'm just gonna drag that here, drag that here, drag it here, come here to collision shape, I'm gonna drag it here, and drag it here. And actually I also not gonna make it like go completely the collision shape not gonna cover all the sprite, because I want my player to be potentially able to pass front or behind it. So like I'm gonna put it something like this. I think it should be fine. And so the collision shape, this one, I'm just gonna reshape it as well, and I'm just gonna move it. I'm just gonna do something like this. It should be fine. I'm just gonna put it a little bit inside it, not too much, but just like that. Voila, and voila. I think like this, it should be fine. I'm just a bit nitpicky. Voila. So now here, what I can do is I can use something that is called signal. First, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to just rename that area and I'm going to call it hitbox. And here I'm going to go to node. And so so I select my area. I go to the inspector, and here just next to the inspector I have node. I go to my body entered, or no, area entered actually, not a body. I need to go to area entered, and basically I'm gonna connect that signal here. I'm gonna say connect. I'm gonna look for my crate that is right here, and then here it creates that new function. And so what I want is I want that if an area enter here, if that area has the name sword, it's gonna be destroyed. So if I go back to my player, you can see that my area here is named sword. So here what I can do is like into my crate script, I can replace that pass line here. I can say if area.name is double equal quote sword, then here I can delete it. And so what I can do is like I can say q_free and it's gonna delete it. So we are saving that. I've made q3 with like 3e. That's not what I want. So voila, I save. And so now basically what we need to do is like we just need to assign the collision layer. So basically if I go to my player right here, I just go to the inspector. So you can see that on my player itself, I have something that is called collision. Here I have a layer 1 and it can collide with layer 1, so it can collide on itself. That's not automatically what I want. I can leave it on layer 1, but I want to be able to collide on some other things. We're gonna do that in the next video when we're gonna start to create other stuff. But here already what I can do is like I can change, I can take out the 1 and I can put 2. So like this, we're gonna put our crate to the 2. So I come here, crate, I'm gonna go to my collision right here, and layer, it is on layer 2, and it can collide with the layer 1, which is our player. And then on our hitbox, my hitbox, I don't want it to be colliding with my player. I want it to collide with the sword. So here I can put that on layer 3, and it can collide with my layer 4, which will be my sword. So now I can come back to my player, and on my sword, I can make it collide with, it was what, 3. I can remove the 1, and then on layer, I need to put it at 4. And so now it will collide normally with my crate. So I can come here, I can put that like this, I can come there, and if I slash it, it disappears. So that's how you make mechanic, sword mechanic in Godot. At least for me, that's how I do, and that works very well. So now that we have done that, but we are ready to pass to a new segment of this course. So see you in the next video. So that's it for me. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it's the case, don't hesitate to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to also check my course on Udemy and considering buying it. It helps me a lot. And me, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Bye!